Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Hello. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing? I'm just out here stretching. Stretching real quick. Whew. How are you all? Oh my goodness. Yesterday. Oh my goodness. Honestly, if you all have been following Lisa Murkowski the last 24 hours, oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Much more better. Much more better. So, y'all, today we're going to be talking about Senator Lisa Murkowski. Yes, this woman right here. So, we're gonna be. Oh goodness gracious, she's a hoot and a half. This whole thing is crazy. It's wild. And I mean, I'm under caffeinated this morning, so I'm already gonna have a little bit more of a snippy responses. But good morning, beautiful people. Hello, Ellie. How's it going? How's it going? So, I already posted a video about it, but in today's live stream is very much gonna be me expanding upon what I posted in the video and talked about in the video. But this whole thing with Lisa Murkowski is honestly, it's such a good metaphor and such a good example of what's happening in our country, specifically within the Republican Party, because there are people like Lisa Murkowski who, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but this is the kind of mental and physical gymnastics they have to do to wiggle themselves around accountability just to soothe a man's ego. And it's really interesting. So it's actually, it's sad is what it really is. I can't see how many people are in here because the viewer count is, oh, okay, there it is. All right, so we're picking up. I'm still recovering from a cold, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm just checking for boogies. Just checking for the little boogies. But oh, I wish I could play the video while on live. I really wish I could. But I cannot, unfortunately. But I will be reading out the confrontation that happened. I mean, this is probably the most, I said it in the video I posted. This is probably the most cowardly response that I've ever heard from a politician. In the almost 27 years that I have been on this earth, and in the last ever since really 2016 when I started really diving into politics, the last 9 years, this is the most shameless, cowardly response that I've ever heard. And honestly, I know that some people might not want to tune into it, but this is just crazy. If you've not seen this confrontation, I really encourage you to go and look it up, but I'm also going to talk about it here. All right, so let me take a sip of water, and then we're going to fully launch in. All right. Here we go. Good morning, beautiful people. Oh my goodness gracious. Good morning, Elisa, Cherie, hello. Everyone call her and let her know what you think. Yeah, no, I think she's starting to hear that loud and clear. So for those of you who may not have heard yet, the Senate yesterday passed Trump's big, beautiful bill. Hold on, let me get out the hands for the maximum effect. Hold on. The Senate just did a beautiful thing. They passed the big, beautiful bill in all of its glory. It's going to restore all of America. It's going to do fantastic things. There's no cuts to Medicaid. There's no cuts to food stamps. I'm doing an impression of something that Trump would probably post on his Truth Social. He proudly posted in all caps. All caps. So, yesterday, the Senate, by a 51-50 margin, passed Trump's big, beautiful bill, which is a huge tax cut for the wealthy, a big handout to the richest corporations and the one percenters, and also gutting Medicaid and food stamps, like the SNAP program assistance, to low-income and working-class people in blue and red states. And Lisa Murkowski has a very interesting reaction to being confronted by a reporter. So I'm going to break all of this down here. How many people we got in here? 184. Okay, awesome. Hello. Good morning. So it's hard for me to see the live count because it's all white up here. And no, I'm not talking about me. I think I'm funny. So I'm going to read out the transcript of what happened. If you've not seen this video, I just posted a video about it where you can go and see my reaction live while watching that video. Oh my God, it's crazy. So watch. Lisa Murkowski stares down reporter. By the way, I'm going to add it in there. It was about like 10 seconds. It was about a 10-second stare down after this reporter asked her a question about what one of her colleagues said. Like, a 10-second stare down after a question, like, that's a long time. Not like 3, but like, yeah, that's a long time. So let me get into it here. For those people who do not know, this is Senator Lisa Murkowski. She is a Republican senator from Alaska. And remember, the Senate, there are 2 senators per state. The House of Representatives is based on population. The Senate is based on having 2 senators per state. So she's one of them. And I did a whole reaction to all of this live. Oh, that's not looking sized great. Okay, whatever. So Senator Lisa Murkowski, who cast the decisive vote in the Senate on Tuesday to pass President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, the fantastic bill that guts Medicaid and food stamps and food assistance for low-income people, because let me tell you, they're suckers and losers. Yeah, you get the gist. Got into a tense confrontation with a reporter who questioned the senator about her big vote. And what was a truly awkward standoff posted to X on Tuesday afternoon, NBC chief Capitol Hill correspondent is a guy named Ryan Nobles, pressed Murkowski, the Republican senator, by relaying criticism from one of her colleagues, Senator Rand Paul, a Republican of Kentucky, who's a staunch opponent of the bill specifically because it raises, it's going to increase the national debt. And also, Senator Rand Paul rightfully called out Senator Lisa Murkowski for extracting concessions in a last minute frenzy before the bill actually ended up being passed. So this is how the confrontation went. Senator Lisa Murkowski stares me down for more than 10 seconds after I ask her to respond to Senator Rand Paul's critique of the deal she struck to get her to vote yes on Trump's one big beautiful bill. And she literally says, "Do I like this bill? No. But I tried to take care of Alaska's interests." Let me read off the full confrontation. This is how the full thing goes. And to really put it in perspective, this is the picture. Imagine this for 10 seconds. So he asks her a question, and in real time, I'm going to actually go back to that slide, and it's going to be for 10 seconds. So the reporter says, "Senator Rand Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the country." And then she responds being like, "Oh my." And it's like, "Oh my." And then Nobles is like, "Well, that's what Senator Paul said." And like, while that all happened, she paused for 10 seconds. So 1, like, just to put it in perspective, she blinks once, and then responds. So Marowsky, who appeared to be irritated by the question, blinked her eyes one last time at Nobles before launching into a stare down. Breaking the silence, Noble shared the first word, which was him clarifying that he did not make the statement himself, though he still wanted a response. And I'm like, that's so dramatic. He's like, I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking you for your response. After a second more of nothing, a visibly frustrated Marowsky answered, quote, my response is, and this is her exact words, I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska. I live up to that every single day. And then she said, adding that this has been an agonizing experience. This is where it gets really interesting. She said, quote, I fight for my state's interest and I make sure that Alaskans are understood. I work hard to take care of a state that has more unique situations, more unique people, and it's just different. Excuse me, you are saying that I work to take care of a state that has more unique situations and more unique people. Okay, well, when you make a comparison, oftentimes you have something you're comparing it to. Well, guess what she's comparing that to? She's comparing that to the other 49 states. The senator from Alaska is saying that their situation is more unique and more different than other people, or they have more unique people and more in just different situations than other states. Okay, this senator literally just threw the entire country under the bus, except for the state of Alaska. She's like, screw the people of Maine, Rhode Island, Vermont, Connecticut, screw the people of New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, screw the people of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, screw the people of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota. I'm trying to make sure I get all of the different, Kentucky, screwing all the, like, I could go on and on. She literally said, I fight for my state's interest. I work hard to take care of them. I work hard to take care of a state that has more unique situations, more unique people, and it's just different. Like, okay, I didn't realize that Alaska was the most important and unique state. Like, oh my God. So then she's like, so when people suggest the federal dollars go to one of our 50 states in a quote bailout, I find that offensive. Go ahead, clutch your pearls, sweetheart. Clutch your pearls. After another moment of silence between the two, Marowsky eventually continued to explain her reasoning for voting yes on the bill, while acknowledging that the bill will allow Alaskans to reap benefits that Americans in other states will not. Like, she goes on, I advocated for my state's interests. I will continue to do that, and I'll make no excuses for doing that. Then she says this verbatim. Do I like the bill? No. I tried to take care of Alaska's interests, but I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are going to be that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that we moved through an artificial deadline, yada, yada, yada. Oh, woe is me. You had to work super hard because there was, Donald Trump was trying to shove this bill down Republicans' throats. Okay, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. You aligned yourself. You're in that party. You can disagree with Trump, but you are a coward and you don't have the balls. Well, I shouldn't say that. That's rude. I apologize. You don't have the guts to stand up and say, hey, Trump, I actually don't like this bill. I apologize. I didn't mean to say that. But, like, here's the thing. She literally got carve-outs in this big, beautiful bill. Okay, Marowsky is not a strong woman. No respect. Yeah, true. She basically, and I'll talk about what those carve-outs are. She got all these carve-outs in the bill like, throwing all the other states. Okay, it's baffling to me. So she's like, do I like this bill? No. I tried to take care of Alaska's interests, but I know in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. So, why did you vote for it? No, just genuinely asking. If you don't like a bill and you recognize that it's going to disadvantage a lot of people, why would you vote for it? Are you voting for it simply because there are carve-outs and exceptions in here and you're just trying to pay some lip service to sound like you are somehow concerned about the real impacts that it's going to do to Americans? Like, good grief. Good grief. These senators, these Republican senators truly think Americans are stupid. And so if you believe them, then you are literally, this guy's a flaming homosexual. Yes, I am. Has nothing to do with the conversation. It's okay if you have a crush on me. But like, what this really shows is how these senators really think that we're this stupid. These senators really think that we're this stupid. They're like, oh yeah, I don't like the bill. It's going to disadvantage a lot of people. What do you want me to be like? Oh yeah, Senator Lisa Murkowski, a real patriot out here fighting for everyone. Like, and realizing that this bill is disastrous, then voting for it. See, here's the thing. It's cowardly. And it gets even worse, y'all. I'm not even done. It gets even worse. So she then is like, woe is me. We had to push it through an artificial timeline. I didn't even like the bill. Well, let me get to some people's comments. And before I do that, Senator Rand Paul, who I'm not the biggest fan of, but credit where credit is due, literally commented saying, hey, there was a time in which they had to make a decision. Either they have to face me, my critiques of the bill, and trying to reduce, the debt spending, or they can do carve-outs and exceptions and give out pork and subsidies to people who are holdouts, like Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. And they chose to do the pork subsidies, all of that, instead of actually addressing the critiques of the bill. So, how long did it take to get my hair like this? Low-key, I woke up like this. You want to hear a secret? I actually don't have anything in my hair. My hair naturally does that. Not gonna lie. Also, if you're enjoying the live stream, please make sure to like the stream. Please make sure to like the stream physically, or just send some likes. I appreciate every single one of you. So, let me get to some comments, and then I'm gonna explain why she's doing this big mental gymnastics humiliating exercise. So, the comments on that video, by the way, that video, I took a screenshot of it of this morning. This video here. And it has 3.6 million views. 3.6 million views, and I took a screenshot of it about an hour ago. That's a lot. And this happened yesterday afternoon. Not even 24 hours has passed. That's a lot. That's a lot. So let me get to some of these comments here. So, sorry, Lisa Murkowski, but you don't have an obligation to just take care of Alaska. You're a United States Senator. You have an obligation to take care of the interests of the nation as a whole. You took an oath to do so. Senator Lisa Murkowski, answer the hard question. What is it? Kudos to you for not flinching and making Senator Lisa Murkowski answer the hard question of why she sold out the country for a few scraps for Alaska. And those are the nice comments. APAC Tracker, of course, coming in here with some hard-hitting statistics, being like, look how much money she's taken from the oil and gas industries. Love that. There's carve-outs for fossil fuel industries in here as well. You might think that you're being inconvenienced by answering uncomfortable questions, but think about all the people who are going to be inconvenienced because you voted to take away their health care. And it goes on here. It's like, she forgot that she's a federal employee. Her job is to protect all Americans. Oh, and I'm just warming up here. Listen to her self-righteous BS. They had to change the way that people vote in Alaska just to save her seat. I cannot verify that. I believe that there was some sort of story about it, but, I'd have to double check. Did you ask her the obvious question? If you don't like this bill, then why did you vote for it? Yeah, genuinely. You sold out the rest of us, shame on you. She's just disgusting, POS. Meanwhile, the rest of us are royally screwed. And like, Medicaid, food assistance, school meal access for 18 million plus kids. Also, the rich can get 1%. Also, the rich 1% can get a $400,000 tax cut. Honestly, though. Honestly. It's like, I don't like it. I think we should have had more time. Okay, then why did you vote no? Why didn't you vote no and force it to go back into negotiation? Like, how dare she be offended because somebody points out her absolute self-serving cowardice? So you see how a lot of people are like, this is crap. Your response is crap. Your feelings of, oh my gosh, you know, this is so awful. It's crap. This person's like, what a hateful, selfish, soulless female dog. Like, and I'm not going to say that word out loud on here. But what's interesting is, you're like, okay, so what did she end up getting? What did she end up getting? Well, long story short, the Senate yesterday passed Donald Trump's one big beautiful bill. It was fantastic. It was great. It was outstanding. It was never before seen. You know, let me tell you, they passed the big beautiful bill. No, I did not shove it down their throats. No, I did not shove it down their throats by giving them some artificial timeline and forcing them and calling them out and shaming them on Truth Social. No, I didn't do any such thing. No such thing. That's all fake news. So, Senator Lisa Murkowski was initially against the bill, though sounds like she extracted some concessions in order to then get the bill, in order for her to vote yes. You're like, okay, what are those concessions? Well, literally bribes, subsidies, handouts. So she then said, my hope is that the House is going to look at this and recognize we're not there yet. You can't just like, it's the audacity here. So basically, let me explain it to you. This bill basically cuts food stamps, Medicaid from a lot of different states. But she was able to get a special carve out for Alaska where it doesn't hit Alaskans as hard. So in this bill, it literally goes through and guts Medicaid food stamps, but it doesn't impact Alaska as much as it does in Louisiana or New York or Minnesota. You get my gist. So she decided, you know what? I will support the bill as long as it doesn't totally wreck my state. It's like, okay, well then you're literally going and being like, well, screw everyone else. Screw everyone else. Like, so specifically, Murkowski was able to secure a waiver from cost-sharing provisions that would, for the first time, force states to pay for part of the SNAP program. Now, in order to get past the Senate parliamentarian, 10 states with the highest payment error rates had to be eligible for the 5-year waiver, including big states like New York and Florida and several blue states as well. The expanded SNAP waivers mean that in the short term, only certain states with average or even below average payment error rates will have to pay into the SNAP program. Already, the language provided that states with the lowest error rates wouldn't have to pay. You're like, okay, well, what does that all mean? That's a lot of technical speak. What that basically means is that states that have this like lower states that have the lowest error rates, which Alaska being one of those, isn't going to have to pay in the program. Meanwhile, other states pick up the slack. So you have people like Amy Klobuchar, a senator from Minnesota, said the Republicans have now rewarded states at the highest error rates in the country just to help out Alaska. So states that have lower error rates with compensation and spending are now, and they have, you know, lower, when it's like a lower error rate means that they actually can track where all the money is going. They can track much more. It's like fiscal security, making sure that you've allocated every single piece of the budget going here, 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 here. States that have a high error rate means that there's a lot of money that just goes missing. Basically, what this bill just did was it gave states with high error rates, like Alaska, and now is making the lower error rate states pay more to higher error rates states like Alaska. And you're like, wait, how is that fair? So basically what this does is it literally is a carve out specifically for Alaska at the expense of everywhere else in the United States. Now, that's no hate to Alaskans. Not at all. Not at all. It's just like, in addition, and that's not the only thing. In addition, Marowsky also got a tax break for Alaskan fishing villages, whaling captains, and wealthy corporations for her state. Medicaid provisions that would have boosted the federal share of the program for Alaska didn't get through the parliamentarian. But, so she tried to even get more handouts. She's like, if for me to vote yes on this bill, I need some provisions. I don't care if they're going to go through and strip Medicaid or food stamps for Louisiana, Wyoming, Nebraska. Don't care if it's going to do that for North Carolina or New York or Ohio or Georgia or, you know, Massachusetts. As long as my state is taken care of, then I will throw everyone else under the bus. That's literally what this senator just did. Like, the final tie-breaking vote came from a senator who decided to throw everyone else except her state under the bus. Like, and this isn't even just about this. I mean, it's not even just about party. That's the kind of lawmaking that people, hopefully regardless of your political orientation or your affiliation, you're just like, that's just so scummy. Imagine, like, if a Democrat had done that as well, that would be disgusting. It's like, okay, well, screw everyone else then, right? Ew. Like, this is, and then she tries to go about like, oh, I know that it's going to disadvantage people in other states, but I'm just looking out for my state's interests. And, you know, then she's like, do I like this bill? No, I don't. Then why did you fucking vote for it? It's the shamelessness, the cowardice, the spineless reactions, and like, woe is me victimhood whole thing. I apologize, y'all. I'm still overcoming a cold. So you're gonna have to forgive me. So, like, this whole thing with her doing, like, she responded to this reporter basically saying, yeah, Senator Rand Paul is mentioning that, you know, this is a bailout for the state of Alaska because there's all these concessions that were just thrown into the bill. You know, would you classify it that way? And she's like, oh my. And she just stares at him. Like, she stares at him for about 10 seconds doing like a slow blink. Like trying to do some weird Jedi mind trick. Like, ew, what? If you go and watch the video, you'll actually see it. I just posted a video about it, so definitely go and check that out after the live. But like, that was also, I don't know if that was her face also from the moment. This was really what the moment looked like. It was actually just, it was like weird and cringeworthy and funny. But I want to point out one other thing, and I'm going to have to end the live here soon because I need to get to work because your boy is working class. What's so interesting is, you know, Donald Trump has been very vocal about wanting to pass this bill. He's been very vocal, shaming senators, slamming Rand Paul, who I'm not the biggest fan of, or shaming Senator Tom Tillis of the state of North Carolina, who, again, I'm not the biggest fan of, but are right to say, hey, this bill takes and strips away Medicaid from a lot of people. And for those people who don't know, North Carolina just fought super hard in order to expand Medicaid. So we finally did it. What this bill is going to do is it's going to gut Medicaid provisions. It's going to severely inhibit and take a lot of North Carolinians off of Medicaid. After we just fought to expand it, that's a huge sucker punch. Also, North Carolina, I live here. I live in Raleigh-Durham area. I know a lot of people, and I'm from here. So if someone gets angry that I call it Raleigh-Durham, I do that for a national audience, okay? I'm from Raleigh. But in North Carolina, there's a lot of there are a couple different big urban areas, but there's also a lot of rural communities. Like, there's a lot of rural communities. If you look at the eastern part of the state, out in the coastal plain, there's historic Black communities, more a part of, like, you know, the northeastern side. There's also a lot of communities, like rural communities in the mountains as well. I went to Appalachian State. And so Medicaid greatly benefits rural communities. Let me say that again. Medicaid greatly benefits rural communities and rural hospitals. So our Senator Tom Tillis was like, yeah, I don't want to vote to like take away Medicaid from all of these people because it's going to be like a huge slap in the face to North Carolinians. And sorry, I don't want that on my conscience. Credit where credit is due. And so like people like Lisa Murkowski don't seem to really care about that. But Trump is basically slamming a whole bunch of Republicans that have been against this. He's now formed a political action committee to go after Thomas Massie in the House, the guy that is like, yeah, I'm not voting for that bill because it, you know, increases the debt a lot. Or also Rand Paul in Kentucky, or Tom Tillis here in North Carolina. So the reason I go around to that is Senator Lisa Murkowski. For those people who might not know, this whole woman that just gave this really, really shameful, like shameless, cowardly response, being like, do I like this bill? No. Is it going to disadvantage people in other states? Yes. Am I looking out there for the interests of my state? Yes. And getting custom carve-outs, and then you throw everyone else under the bus. She is the same person that actually had a brief moment where she was sharing, I think it was at a town hall, on a mic, that she was sharing, you know, we are all afraid. We, as in Republican senators that want to speak out and push back against Trump. She's like, we're all afraid. The retaliation from the administration. How many people are in here? 691? Wow. Y'all are awesome. So let me put this out there, and then I have to go. I seriously have to go. So Senator Lisa Murkowski said that there is a fear of retaliation under President Donald Trump's administration, and that it's rising to levels never seen before. She said, quote, oftentimes that she's very anxious to speak out in fear of, you know, reincrimination. And then, like, she said, quote, I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice because retaliation is real, and that's not right. And then she said, quote, I'm going to use my voice to the best of my ability. Well, guess what, Senator Lisa Murkowski? That was your moment. That was your chance. You voting against Donald Trump's big, nasty, disgusting bill that cuts working class people, rural people, urban people, Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter you or your political affiliation, low income, working class people, cutting them off at the knees, taking away their Medicaid, taking away their food stamps, giving wealthy big handouts to wealthy corporations and the rich 1%, whether that's Bezos, Elon Musk, or George Soros, or Warren Buffett. It is going to give massive tax cuts to the wealthiest of the wealthy, who don't need any more tax cuts. And you are like, oh, retaliation is very real. Well, guess what? Your moment to have been a hero just passed, and you massively failed. You literally threw everyone else except your state's constituents, which you got a custom carve out. You are willing to throw 49 other states off the boat in order to save yourself and your constituents, which in reality, you didn't even save them, because these carve-outs that you got were only benefiting the wealthy corporations in Alaska. They're not benefiting like your working class people. Oh, they're not, maybe they're going to suffer a little bit less with Medicaid cuts or food stamp cuts. Okay, sure. But like, you literally decided to think of it as a boat. She literally just like, she basically just threw everyone else who is a state off the boat. That's just disgusting. So she's like, and retaliation is very real. Well, guess what? You are the person that is there to push back against Trump. If you're waiting for someone else to come along and say that, oh, they need to push back against Trump, guess what? You need to do your part. You can't just be like, the retaliation is really, really real. You need to push back. You need to push back. Period. End of story. Sorry, I'm still overcoming a cold. I find the greed and the avarice and the like victim complex coming from her being like, I don't like this bill. And like, I know it's going to disadvantage people. Then don't vote for it. like, then don't vote for it. It's just, it is such cowardice. Really is what it is. Senator Lisa Murkowski needs to actually grow a spine and stand up to Trump instead of getting custom carve-outs. And this is the thing, like, this is the worst that Washington has to offer. It's people like this. It's people like that. Anyway, I need to go. I need to get to work. Shout out to my amazing moderators in here. For everyone in here, if you have not liked the stream yet, please make sure to like the stream. Also, I just posted a video about this. That has it's a little bit more like concise, it's much more of a good summary. It's much more of a good summary. It's like 8 minutes long. So if you're looking for just like a good summary that you can share with, you know, family members or friends or something like that. It also, voter out then. Oh, I would if I lived in Alaska. But it's important to share these things. But anyway, I appreciate every single one of you. You all are awesome. I love all of you. Even if you don't like me, I just posted a video about it, and you can go and see the actual video itself. It's worse than you might think. So anyway, shout out to my amazing moderators in here. Cherie, Kate, Ellie, Akicha, Elisa, Jenny, Joanna Tech, and also good friends, Cantisa, C-Bar, love you all. Universe Juice, that's a fun name. Oh my gosh. I love all of you so much. Y'all are awesome. I could not do any of this without you all. Definitely go check out that video. And I'm gonna skedaddle. Just remember that you are beautiful, you are loved, you are valid, you are strong. Ginger Monster, love you, and you are fierce. Don't let anyone or anything ever dim your shine. I love all of you so much. Bye.